Hello and welcome to Moneycontrol. I'm Stanford Masters and you're watching Editor's Take. It's been 50 years since banks were first nationalized and it still continues to be a hot topic. To give us more details about this, we have Ravi Krishnan here with us. Ravi, hi.
Hi.
So tell us, why were banks first nationalized back in 1969?
See, well, India lent towards socialism after independence. As early as 1948, the All India Congress Committee wanted to nationalize banks and insurance companies. Then in the 60s, it was a very turbulent time economically, politically. There are a variety of reasons for that.
Yeah.
For one, India had fought two wars with China in 1962 and Pakistan in 1965. Then later there were two droughts and there was not enough food in India. We had to depend on American, charity. We had to import food grains from the US. Also remember at that time, because of this, GDP was shrinking. Inflation was in high double digits. So economically it was very, very turbulent. Politically speaking, Indira Gandhi was on a very weak foot. She was the prime minister at that point in time. She was trying to gain control of the Congress over the old guard, the syndicate. She was also facing a lot of criticism because she had devalued the rupee. And so she wanted to show her credentials. So that was a political factor. Then banking factors. At that time, all these banks were under the control of big businessmen who lent to themselves.
Of course.
So there was no access to credit for the agriculture sector and for other weaker sections which had no formal access to credit. So all these factors put together sort of paved the way for bank nationalization.
So what you're saying is that this decision wasn't a very sudden one?
No, it was not, because the government did try other things. See, it was not as if there were unanimity also, because Morarji Desai, who was the finance minister and was perceived to be pro-business, he was not in favor of bank nationalization. So they did a lot of other things. For example, they told banks you should change the profile of your directors. They should not be big businessmen. They told banks that you can't lend to these directors and their firms. A National Credit Council was set up to lend to agriculture. But still it was felt these measures were not enough. So it soon became a question of when banks will be nationalized rather than whether to nationalize them.
So why are people still talking about it today then?
Well, of course, as central bank historians note that this is the most important economic policy decision in the history of post-independent India, even more than the 1991 economic reforms and liberalization that it kick-started. So that is one, and also we are seeing the after effects of it, so to speak. See, PSU banks, like the rest of the public sector, they are bloated, inefficient. They are, why are we still talking about bank nationalization after 50 years? Because PSU banks have the highest number of NPAs. So it is time that we revisit it to see whether so many PSU banks need to be there. See, development objectives have been met, maybe not fully, but to a significant extent. So do we need these many 20 PSU banks or so? Maybe we need just a couple, and the government should sort of step away from the rest. So I think that is how one would sum it up.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for that, Ravi. Well, that's a wrap on this edition of Editor's Take. For more news, views and updates, stay logged on to moneycontrol.com. Thanks for watching.